Welcome to the Odyssey Sports Fantasy Football Show. I'm Chris Emma, alongside my colleagues Jordan Cohn and Jesse Pantusco. Week 7 of the season is here. We have your waiver wire pickups, your stream team, and your stealthy starts. Let's get right to it. I will open up with Devonta Freeman of the Baltimore Ravens. And look, they got to figure that out eventually, right? I mean, I think that's kind of what I'm going for with this one. Running backs are scarce. We've seen tons of injuries, and especially in Baltimore. After the loss of Dobbins early in the season, Gus Edwards, they're still figuring it out. And I want to give faith in this running game that they have. I want to give the credit to Devonta Freeman. 9 rushes, 53 yards and a touchdown, 2% rostered in Yahoo League. So he's going to be somebody that's going to be a hot commodity on the waiver wires this week. If anything, I think it's just a stash card later in the season where you hope he's being that productive presence in the backfield. So I'm taking my chances with Devonta Freeman and hoping it pays off, not in week 7, then down the road. So Jordan, who are you looking for on the waiver wires?
Going to kick it off with another veteran myself. I'm going to go with wide receiver T.Y. Hilton of the Indianapolis Colts, who just made his return in week 6, and he did pretty well. He did leave with an injury, which is like, oh my gosh, is this guy ever going to stay on the field? But it was in a blowout. It seemed like it wasn't anything too significant. That's what the Colts were saying also. Someone who did suffer a significant injury, one that could be season-ending, was fellow wide receiver Paris Campbell. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But either way, Hilton looked good. He has a strong arm thrown at him in Wentz, which is something that in recent years hasn't really been there in Indianapolis for him. He had 4 targets, brought in 4 catches for 80 yards. There was a beautiful deep ball that went 50 plus yards, and he looked like his old self there. So if you need a nice option with some bye weeks coming up, and he could be the best wide receiver on the Colts going forward, though Pittman is also a good option. But I think that Hilton is about as good an option as you'll be able to find on the waiver wire this week.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that established background. I like that pickup. Jesse, who are you looking for on the waiver wires?
Okay, so if I told you there was a first-round receiver with 4.4 speed playing on one of the NFL's highest-scoring offenses, and he was available in over 80% of ESPN leagues, is that something you might be interested in? The player I'm describing, of course, is Ravens rookie Rashod Bateman, who, after suffering a groin injury in training camp, finally returned in week 6. Bateman didn't jump off the page in his debut against the Chargers, but his usage was encouraging, seeing the field on 69% of offensive snaps, which trailed only Marquise Brown among Ravens wide receivers. He also commanded a respectable 22% target share and surely would have gotten more work if Baltimore didn't take its foot off the gas in the second half. Bateman is by no means a finished product. He dropped a ball that turned into an interception Sunday, but as long as he doesn't let mistakes like that affect his confidence, John Harbaugh should be inclined to stick with him. Bateman no doubt benefited from Sammy Watkins' absence in week 6, but even when Watkins returns from his hamstring injury, I think we'll see plenty of Bateman going forward.
Can't go wrong with that one. Let's move to the stream team. And Jordan, you have our quarterback this week. Who's your QB1?
Yeah, we're going to go with Tua. He's going up against the Atlanta Falcons, which is a great defense for opposing quarterbacks to play against. They're one of the most friendly defenses in the league in terms of fantasy quarterback production. Jalen Hurts, Tom Brady, and Taylor Heineke all finished as top 6 fantasy plays of the week when they went up against the Falcons. The 2 quarterbacks that struggled against them were the New York guys, Daniel Jones and Zach Wilson. So which group will Tua fall into? I'm thinking that it's the former. He just picked apart the Jaguars for a good day in his return to the football field. He'll be going up against a similarly porous defense and one that could be a shootout matchup against the Falcons. Maybe it won't be the prettiest game, some sloppiness here and there, but overall, neither defense is too threatening. Matt Ryan and Calvin Ridley, who will be returning hopefully, could put up a good amount of points against this Dolphins defense, and so Tua will have to answer. I like him as a streaming option in week 7.
Good pickup. Jesse, who are you bringing to the stream team this week?
Well, Ricky Seals-Jones of the Washington football team may not be the sexiest name in fantasy, but he's put himself in the streaming conversation by virtue of his monster workload of late. Filling in for injured starter Logan Thomas, who's nursing a sprained hamstring, RSJ has been a literal every down player the past 2 weeks, seeing the field on 141 of 142 offensive snaps. According to Adam Levitan of Establish the Run, he's commanded a 19% target share over that span, while running a route on almost 90% of Taylor Heineke's dropbacks. Seals-Jones broke loose for a 39-yard touchdown Sunday, finishing the week as the overall tight end 6 in PPR leagues. Look for him to keep it going in week 7 against a Packers defense that has merely been average at defending the tight end position. One last thing, though I wouldn't consider him a streamer per se, another name to keep an eye on this week is Zach Ertz. who should be the future tight end in Arizona after previously splitting time with Dallas Goedert in Philadelphia.
Great insight. I'll bring you your defensive stream this week, and it is the New Orleans Saints facing the Seattle Seahawks on Monday night. And look, they are rostered in 40% of leagues right now in Yahoo. They are the fourth best performing defense altogether. That includes having a bye in week 6. The Saints are an attacking defense. They get the sack totals, they get the turnovers, and they're facing a quarterback in Geno Smith who I just don't really buy. A depleted offense for Seattle. If it was Russell Wilson, Chris Carson, and the crew going full strength, I probably wouldn't be saying it, but I trust the Saints as a stream team defense. And you know what? I trust them as a waiver wire pickup too. That's somebody I would trust the rest of the way. So that is my stream team defense. Let's finish it out with the stealthy starts. And I'm going to go with another veteran, a guy I think I've mentioned a couple times on this show, and it's AJ Green. He's going up against the Houston Texans this week. He started in 11% of Yahoo leagues, 44% owned. 5 catches, 79 yards and a touchdown against the Cleveland Browns. Now going up against a porous Houston Texans defense. I trust AJ Green is going to continue to perform. I think he's going to have his opportunities, so that's going to be my guy for this week. Jordan, who's your stealthy start this week?
I like that pick. I'm cheating a little bit on mine if we're going by the precise definition of stealthy start, which is started in fewer than 50% of leagues. Eagles running back Miles Sanders this week, at least on ESPN, was started in 53% of leagues, but I think we'll allow the exception here because I think, you can see there's a clear lack of consensus confidence in Sanders going forward by fantasy owners, and you can't really blame the fantasy community for that. Nick Sirianni does not get him the ball as much as I can pretty much say every single Eagles fan would like him to. Hopefully that changes. Sirianni came on our Odyssey affiliate 94 WIP this morning and was talking about how they have to get the ball to Sanders more. He was listening to the fans, hopefully. And so we'll see if that happens. All I know is that you're not going to want to have him on your bench when he does have his breakout week. And that week 7 opportunity against the Raiders is a great matchup to do so. They've been a bottom 10 fantasy run defense. They're giving up well over 4 yards per carry to opposing running backs. And as good as Kenneth Gainwell looked early in the season, his snap count has been decreasing week by week, whereas Sanders just played a season-high 83% of the Eagles' snaps against the Bucs in week 6. So week 7, a couple big plays is all he needs. A couple big plays seems like it's going to be something that he can reasonably achieve against this Raiders defense. I would not want to have him on my bench.
Jesse, finish this off. Who's your stealthy start this week?
Well, first I want to say I wholeheartedly agree with Jordan. Both of us were at that Buccaneers game the other night, and I think it was one carry in the first half for Miles Sanders, and he had 2 in the Monday night loss to Dallas. That's just not good enough. Yeah. Anyway, fantasy owners still seem a bit gun shy when it comes to Chiefs running back Darrel Williams, who was benched in over half of ESPN leagues last week. So naturally, Williams asserted himself with 2 touchdowns and 23.9 PPR points against Washington, the most by a Kansas City running back this season. There was some fear of Casey employing a backfield committee in Clyde Edwards-Helaire's absence, but obviously that wasn't the case Sunday, with Williams out-touching Jerick McKinnon 24-4. Right now, Williams is occupying a larger role in the Chiefs' offense than Edwards-Helaire has at any point in his Kansas City tenure. With Edwards-Helaire not eligible to return for several more weeks, Williams should be treated as a fantasy RB1 until further notice. The Titans are easier to throw on than they are to run against, and I still like Williams' chances of scoring a touchdown in week 7.
All right, that'll do it. Week 7 of the season. For my colleagues, Gordon Cohen, Jesse Pantusco, I'm Chris Emma. This is the Odyssey Sports Fantasy Football Show.